am starting the recordings. Okay, so Sebastian, what do you want to do? Do you want to do the whole, you're calling the meeting to order, that whole speech?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like I was talking to you earlier, like, hey, let's follow ritual. So this meeting is being recorded. Likely you just received a message on your screen to that effect. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Rec and Parks Commission. It's Monday, September 27th. My name is Sebastian Felbeck, and I'm calling the meeting to order at 6:30 sharp. Again, I don't know any of these housekeeping items, but I presume that everyone's read their meetings minutes as good attendees. So I will paraphrase, but mute when you're not talking. And if there's background noise, keep it on mute. I believe that Dorit is going to act as moderator this evening, and she'll help me recognize, or Laura, I should say, help me recognize speakers who have their hands raised. All comments should be directed to myself rather than the individuals. For the general comment agenda item, there are applicable laws that limit the actions we may take during tonight's and today's meetings, and pardon my ignorance, this is my first meeting. Thus, we may be legally prohibited from acting on a concern that you have expressed. However, your concern may become the topic of a discussion at a future meeting after we've had the chance to list the item on the agenda. So let's proceed to tonight's agenda. I know it's been a while, and we'll dust it off, and hopefully this is the first productive meetings. And yeah, we can actually.
Do you want me to share the agenda, or are you?
Please, yeah, if you wouldn't mind. I can also pull it up. It's up to you. Yeah, why don't you do it?
Right, assuming you can all see my screen.
And I should state that I was talking to Laura before this meeting. My goal as chair is there's an old man. I sit through a lot of meetings on my day-to-day basis. So if there's something that we need to discuss further, I feel as though we should all make action items for ourselves and take note of others' responsibilities and mark those and reconvene at the next meeting or at a subsequent meeting. But I do not think that it's necessary to carry on throughout the evening. We all are on the same team. We all want what's best for the parks. So I think that if it would be most productive if we can take our action items, nurture them, and come back at a later agreed upon date, because fortunately, unlike I should say, we have children, pets, etc., and it is Monday, and we want to be as productive as possible. But that being said, if a meeting needs to go longer, I'm all for it. And I definitely think that if there's heated debate, I will carry it through. But I am someone that is a stickler for time. So I'd like to start on time and end on time, unless there are items that need to garner further attention in the heat of the moment, as it were. So that being said, I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate being elected chair, and I look forward to this position, as well as the support of my community. So let's follow the agenda. So call to order, we did.
So Sebastian, I'm jumping in. I realized that what we didn't put on the agenda is approve the agenda. So normally we would have to approve the agenda, but here you go. This is the agenda. There's no action item. But if you could, since it does say introduction of new chair, maybe you could tell everybody 40 seconds about yourself.
Sure. My name is Sebastian Felbeck. I live on 4th Avenue between 36th Street and Exposition Boulevard. I've lived in the neighborhood for about 4 years now. I have 2 young children that go to school in the area. We go to Leslie Shaw. Basically, love the resurfacing that we just did, and I have some discussion on that later. But we go to Benny Potter as well. We've gone to some most memorable parties there. We have some discussions there, but I am a transplant, as it were. I was gentrified out of Santa Monica into this lovely community. We love our neighbors, and yeah, happy to be here and happy to grab the reins for something that I really hold and dear to my heart, which is better. So that's 40 seconds, I think, Laura.
Yeah. And has everybody seen the agenda? Because I can't tell if you guys can see the screen.
Yeah, I could see the screen. I think
Right.
Yeah, we can see it.
Perfect, because I'd like to stop the share is what I'm getting at. If
Well,
that's
Go
okay.
for it. Yes, it's okay.
Cool. All right, so I'm just giving you hints. The next item is general public comments. And if anyone has a public comment, this is when they would raise their hands.
Okay, and just to reiterate, Laura and if you don't mind, I'd like to learn some of my co-committees their meeting, but can we just like 15 seconds to introduce ourselves
Sure,
and get to
absolutely.
know each other virtually?
You can. You're the chair. You can do whatever you want.
Absolute power corrupt.
Okay, so again, my
ourselves.
internet is unstable, so I'm hoping that doesn't affect this meeting. Is
It
everything
hasn't so far.
okay?
Just call and why don't you throw it to somebody, introduce themselves, and then they'll introduce themselves and throw it to somebody else.
All right, Dorit, since you look like my cat, why don't you introduce yourself? I have a black cat too.
The cat is Gypsy, and she is judging you because that's what she does. She judges everybody. My name's Dorit. I've been in this community for about 2 years. Freaking love it. Lived in Silver Lake for 22 years. Active in their parks, which is why I wanted to restart this matter. People who these meetings in the community is just amazing. So Sebastian, I'm very glad you're going to be able to take over this committee, and I think you're going to probably do some amazing stuff. I'm going to throw it over to Sharon.
Sharon.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I am the district supervisor, Metro Region Central District. So some of these parks that you're talking about are under my jurisdiction, mostly like Benny Potter, South Seas, the Isidore, which eventually will probably be worked on, Normandy, and then I don't know if Queen Anne and all of those are this area, but those are all my facility. There's about 10 parks in this area. Now maybe the last 6 months, been invited by Donna and Dorit, and yeah, I think it's very beneficial for this community. And I pass it to Donna.
Donna, you're up to bat.
I'm trying to get Donna to unmute. It's not working.
Uh-oh, recording stopped. I think we lost Laura's. Uh-oh, back in progress. I think Laura's unstable internet is acting up, but yeah, public comment. I don't know exactly. I'm gonna lean on you guys right now what to do on the public comment section here, since this is a virgin agenda.
Right. So Sebastian, what it is for public comment is anyone who has a public comment on any item not on the agenda may speak for 1 minute.
And since we have such a robust agenda, I think it's basically at this point anything. Is that fair to say, Laura?
Anything, well, yeah, since our agenda says later that we're going to discuss items of interest like a round robin. So if anybody, anyway, so if anybody has a comment on any topic not on this agenda, so we'll just stick to that. I see no hands raised. So that would say we can move on to the next item, which was the introductions that we started to do. I am going to actually switch internet sources, so I'm hoping it doesn't kill you guys too badly while I'm doing that, since I keep getting the unstable message. So
nope. Do you really quick?
Yeah. Do me what? Do me switching or do me intro?
Yeah, no, do your switching of the internet sources.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna do that. I'm having a little trouble even doing that. So there we go. And see what happens. Okay, I am back and we're still recording. Are we all good?
Yep, we are all good.
Perfect. And Stacy has her hand raised.
Okay, Stacy, I recognize Stacy. If that's how it works.
Yes. Hi. I'm sorry. I am on my phone and through dial-in as well as on the app. So I apologize. I'm not sure. I'm hoping everyone's not getting an echo, but I just wanted to bring up, and I haven't reviewed the agenda entirely, but I wanted to just bring up just the graffiti that continuously happens at the park on Jefferson. And we have a neighbor that's not able to make this call today, but she has some magical graffiti cleanup stuff. And I don't know if that's something that like everybody could purchase or if it's something that shop.
Well, in the past, I think we've all talked about this. If you contact the supervisor, the maintenance in that area, they will get on it and go over and look at that park, because there is a crew there that goes in the morning. They're not there all day. They may be there for like 3 or 4 hours, but they can call in like graffiti removal, or if they need something specifically done, they can call it in and try and get it fixed or whatever.
So besides 311, is there a number that the public can call?
Well, that's,
like, can you share
you know what,
the
I'll put
supervisor's number?
inside, yeah, I'll put inside the chat, the number to, I think the person out there is,
It's Leo, right?
yeah, I think there's a new
Uribe?
person there now, because it
Oh.
used to be Raul Leon, and he's now got moved to the metro region. So it's, God, I think, I'll put it in the chat.
Right. I think that's the confusing thing, is keeping up with like who the correct contacts are and keeping
Right.
track of like the right directory or roster of whoever we should contact. Because I feel like there's some times where I just waste like a full half hour trying to text or call or email a bunch of people, and then I can't get to the right person. So just trying to figure out who we can contact directly and how we can help.
Okay, you know what, I'm just gonna put somebody's name in the chat box and just email them for that area, for that specific area. Because in the metro, I try to do it. If somebody in this, in UNNC contacts me, I'll try and do it myself. But Shaw Park's not in my area, but I'll try and get a hold of them for you. So I'm just gonna put.
Can
the
we
person's
connect?
name there.
Can we connect and try to find out who the supervisor is, the landscape supervisor, the PLD public landscape supervisor is for that area? Because Stacy, to address your question, I do use 311 all the time, and it's super effective. I've gotten calls from, it's not the Army Corps, but the whatever concert, LA, whatever the Corps is, that CCC, the concert,
CCC,
yeah, they're super effective, and I have that foreman's number. But I agree with you; it'd be really nice to know who the actual supervisor is for that park, and I think if we can share that with the community. That was going to be one of my things in the next steps idea for future, is just getting out who to actually call when we have specific issues. I know this covers not only, I know I've talked to people at Benny Potter, but you know, Leslie Shaw is my park, so or my neighborhood park, I should say. So I know that is something, Stacy, that I'm going to personally follow through with, is getting an actual contact for that. And if we can touch base offline and then share that at the next meeting, that would be super helpful, because I know there is probably a park supervisor for this park that oversees.
Can I tell you who it is?
Yeah.
There is no park supervisor for that park. It's a pocket park attached to another park. And when I found out which other park it was attached to, I called that other park and they didn't know that they were attached to this park. But Leo, and I'm going to not pronounce his last name right because I suck, but Leo Uribe, He's been really good when you contact him. I put his name in the chat thing.
Okay.
Somewhere I might have a
Thank
phone
you.
number. But I do have a list of things. I have a roster that I made, but I'm not comfortable sharing the roster because it has some civilian names on it, like not park staff. But Sebastian, I'll give you, I might have already sent you that too, but I'll give you all
Yeah,
the
no-
people who are Rec and Park staff, because you should have that. But I just don't want to give you the roster that has, say, Donna's name on it or
No, and I don't want to
Sandra's.
share that. I want to share basically the park supervisor for the area, his, you know, whatever they call him in the city of LA, the foreman, we call him in the city of Santa Monica, for that specific park. So I'd like to get that out in the public, right? Like, so we can call, whether it's at Benny Potter or Leslie Shaw, we can call them directly if there's a, most importantly, a safety concern or a maintenance, facilities and maintenance issue, right? Lights are out. But most importantly, if there's something that's, safety wise, if there's an unsafe, if a slide came loose, say, or there's a jagged object or sharps, needles, etc. But we just, 311 is phenomenal, Stacy. And they are really, really responsive, but I agree with you to be able to touch base with the supervisor for that area would be great. So
Yeah, and to be
I
honest,
agree with you.
I don't want to interrupt, but I have to get back to my kids in a second too. But like, it would be really amazing if there was like something that was either laminated or protected in each park that says, please contact this if there's, a complaint about something, like, and that was kept up to date, because I feel like that's, like you said, like you might have a roster. I think it was Sharon or Dorit, but you don't want to share everyone's info. So if there's just some number or email that we can list at the park, like if there's a problem with something going on that we can contact versus, 311 or 911, I think that would be fantastic.
I'm going to jump in. My name is Donna. I sent you Sebastian, Bill Lopez. He is the supervisor for the entire area, almost to the beach. I've given you his contact information, and you can share it because he works for the city, he works for us. He's phenomenal. Leo works at the park, but often he doesn't, he has a lot of information on his service, so I don't always get him back. But Bill Lopez is what you have on your phone right now, and you can certainly share it.
Awesome.
And actually,
Yeah,
I just posted it in the chat.
And
Excellent.
another good person to contact with, especially for Leslie Shaw, is Sandra. She's got a lot of contact information. So maybe even reaching out to her and work with her to develop your list, because she does have people's names.
Awesome. All right, so Stacy, sorry, long story short is I hope you can gather that from the chat, and I'm gonna let Teresa Masonette in. She's in the waiting room. Yeah, get back to your kids, but can we circle back offline? I think you have my contact information. All right, she might be on mute.
So Sebastian, Donna's had her hand up, and I don't know if it was for the comment she just made or has something else to say.
Oh yeah, unmute.
That's what I wanted to give. That.
Thank you,
so
Donna. I got your text. Thank you, Donna.
Yeah, and
I appreciate you.
he covers all maintenance area, and he also got a slow out to go in the park, look it over every day. He's great.
Awesome. Is he well, I guess we can talk about that on the next item, but Stacy, hopefully that answered your question. I know it was only supposed to be 1 minute per speaker. Thank you for that. But is there anything else so we can, go on to updates? All right. She's probably got her hands full. A silence is assumed consent, I believe. All right. So what do we usually do for updates then? Laura, Dorit, Donna? Sharon,
No,
what do we do?
this is up. I don't know. Can you hear me actually? Because I'm getting a message saying I'm muted.
Absolutely. No,
It's so
we can hear
strange.
you loud and
My
clear.
internet is so bad. It's telling me I'm muted and I'm not.
We heard it was unstable.
Unstable, yes. Well, it's the whole, maybe they mean something else. Anyway, Sharon and other staff members from Recreation and Parks would normally give the updates from staff. So, and I think is Arian Davis also from South Seas House, right? Because she's here too.
Yes, I'm on right now. Yes.
So I guess the question is, are there any updates and who's giving them?
So, Dorit, I send you the latest protocols for Recreation and Parks. I sent an email, so if you want to print it out, you could. And right now, Recreation and Parks, we're only, we're back to programming, but we have to follow protocols. They have to wear masks. If they're inside, they still have to do social distancing. If you're outside playing a sport, you don't have to wear the mask, but all coaches have to be vaccinated and or tested. And then we're back to like offering $10 a lot of classes and programs, which Arian can talk about at South Sea House. But all the parks in Normandy and all the other parks in the area are running universal play, and classes are all $10. Leagues are all $10. And it's a deal because you get uniforms, trophies, everything for $10. And it's a big deal right now. So hopefully everybody goes out. There should be brochures out at all the rec centers. I always encourage the rec centers to send their brochures and stuff to you guys so that you could publicize their programs. But I think everybody's starting October the 4th. Go ahead, Arian.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. So South Seas House right now is offering, we have our after school program that is back in, that's running from 2 to 6. We're picking up from schools in the area. We have a preschool that's running, and we're accepting kids in both of those programs. As Sharon mentioned, we have our Universal Play program, which is operative over at South Seas. And with that, some of the things that we're offering under the Universal Play program, we have basketball on Saturdays, dance class on Saturdays, and we have fitness classes throughout the week for kids. So, and those are all $10, as Sharon mentioned. And I can send out, I will send out a brochure. I'll send it to Donna, and I'll send it to whoever else. I could probably send it to Donna, and she could probably forward it to whoever else is interested in it.
Hey, Arian, quick question.
Yes.
Do you guys all have my contact information? Can I make that public or for us at least, you know? I'd love to be included in those.
I do not have your contact information, but I can, sure, I would love to have it.
All right, I'll put it in the chat. I don't care. I get enough spam. Everyone can send me more spam. But let me put it in there. If you don't mind me adding me to the distribution, that'd be rad.
Okay. Great. That's awesome. Thank you.
All right. Sorry to interrupt, Arian.
That was it. We just have, I think all of the parks, or not all of them, but a good portion of the parks are offering Universal Play. So all of the programs are $10. Specifically at South Seas House, we're offering soccer. So we have soccer practice going on Saturday mornings for 5 to 6 years old and 7 to 8 years old. As well as a soccer class afterwards for younger kids, 3 to 4 years old. So we have those two going on, and we have so basically, yeah, the fitness classes during the week. Those fitness classes are actually happening during after school time, so those are 4 to 5 p.m. And we have the other classes on Saturday mornings, like the dance class. So all of that stuff will be in the brochure. I welcome everyone to spread the word and send your kids if they're available to join our programs. It's a great opportunity because it's only $10, which should be affordable for a lot of families. So hopefully we'll see some of the people that you guys know over at the park soon.
Hey, Arian, really quick. I'm sorry, I might have missed this because I'm sometimes down. But what parks, where are those held? Are they held at the libraries or at the parks themselves or?
So South Seas is a park that is a part of the Universal Play program. So throughout the recreation and parks, we have several or a lot of sites that are offering programming, meaning classes and leagues and basically anything that is fitness, geared towards fitness and sports for $10. Not every park offers it, but I'm not sure if there is a list or something we can is there a list, Sharon, that is available to people to show them, to tell them where Universal Play program is operating?
Yes, I could send him that list.
Yeah,
Okay.
or even better, just instead of, you know what I mean? Like, how can we, maybe share this info? I didn't know about this, and I, you know what I mean? Like, can we, besides just physical postings, is there a way to like somehow post it to our website? And
Okay, Sebastian, I'm going to jump in. If I had all the information, I'll send out a UNNC e-blast, and then all of you who receive the UNNC e-blast can in turn forward the UNNC e-blast, with this. I'll do a standalone on this one.
Okay,
the only thing I would ask is for people who forward it, delete the part at the bottom that says you can unsubscribe, because if somebody unsubscribes on a forwarded, it sometimes unsubscribes hundreds of people. So there's a trick. I do have my hand up for a different reason, but that's the basic answer. If I had the information sooner rather than later, I can craft a standalone e-blast.
Yeah, or we could just like find a way to link it to our website and guide people there. But anyway, yeah, you're recognized, Laura. I see your hand.
Yes, I have a question for both Sharon and Arian in particular. Halloween at the parks, what's happening, if anything? I mean, I'm assuming there's no haunted house again this year, but is there anything?
There's only classes that are going to have Halloween. So like Arian's preschool and Arian's after school club will have Halloweens. There's not Halloween allowed at facilities yet. So anybody who has an after school or preschool or a teen club, they're the ones that will have Halloweens.
Okay. And unrelated to that, and I will say from the start, I'm completely confused. The governor's emergency orders related to the Brown Act and meetings expire Thursday. I don't know if he's going to renew it. The state which is what allows us to meet on Zoom. The state legislature passed a revision to the Brown Act, it's semi-temporary, like till 2024, that would allow us to continue to meet on Zoom, but only if city council or the county, either the mayor, the county supervisors, or city council do another emergency order, blah, blah, blah. We had talked a couple of months ago, Sharon, about if we have to start meeting in person, is the South Seas House going to be available for Recreation and Parks Committee and the Planning and Zoning Committee, which are the two that had always met there. So are we
good with it? I told you guys we're good with it, but it has to be lifted by Recreation and Parks. And right now we are still not allowed to meet in person.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But all of us have to start meeting in person whenever that magic day comes.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm a little nervous because I'm not so sure people will meet in person.
Okay.
But I'm just confirming that it's a moving target still.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So we'll just hand you guys an application, and then like Sebastian, you fill it out and we'll make a permit for you where you guys are scheduled every month to use the facility.
Right.
Exactly. Perfect.
Right.
And the Brown, yeah, the extension will happen. But anyway, long story short, go. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, and one other thing is that the clerk has decided that they're going to go inspect every facility for ADA. But they had me fill out that application 2 months ago already, and I'm sure they haven't contacted you. I gave them your name.
No. Do they have funding to, just as an aside, do they have funding to fix any issues? Because I already know there are some.
Fix
Or
what
are they
kind?
just gonna, so any ADA issues, right? So if there's slope issues, reach issues, accessibility issues in general, is there funding to
South Sea's
fix?
house is good. South Sea's house is ADA compliant.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, well, just quickly chiming in here, I do see your message, Teresa. I also see your hand raised. Do you want to be called upon? I recognize your hand.
Thank you, Sebastian. Hi, everybody. I came into the meeting late, so if you've already discussed this, I'm sorry. I submitted some graffiti pictures to the 311 app, but it appears that the graffiti may have been there for several days because there were overlapping tags on the bathroom facility at the Benny Potter Park. And then also near the basketball court, there's an electrical box, and it had several different tags on it too. So I just wanted to mention, maybe we can have, Recreation come out and take another look, a more frequent look at the graffiti there. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Is Bill Lopez, and we did talk about this briefly, is Bill Lopez also the supervisor for Benny Potter? Anybody, Sharon?
No,
Yes,
it's that one is Juan Villasenor. That's at the Benny Potter, and they've been pretty on top of it. I know my last one was with Donna, but Donna, I don't know if Arian called you or somebody called you when you guys were talking about graffiti. That was at a resident's house, and our people weren't allowed to go over there.
We got it done,
Yeah,
Sharon.
okay, there you
Yeah.
go. Okay,
Mission
we-
was completed. Thanks
Yeah,
to
okay.
Mary Jones,
good,
our deputy.
good. Yes,
And
That was
it
a big
was a slope to climb, but we got it done.
great. Thank you.
Jazz hands. Well, here, another thing. So Teresa, before you did join, we were talking about the contact for Leslie Shaw. So I am also a member of the public, Stacy, asked about a graffiti item graffiti concerns at Leslie Shaw. We had some really vulgar, very vulgar graffiti this weekend. That was quickly cleaned up by 311, but a direct contact to a park supervisor or a subordinate was requested. So we committed to getting that contact out, and Bill Lopez was brought up as the supervisor for Leslie Shaw. So, maybe Sharon, you can help me find out who the person is for Benny as well. That would be awesome. And I think that would be if we can, and I'd be happy to spearhead this, putting it on our website, these contacts, because ultimately, I should have mentioned this in the introduction. I work for the city of Santa Monica. I interface with these folks all the time. I oversee the capital improvement program here for the city of Santa Monica. So just like I am a steward of the public funds, these people are as well. They are paid to, do these things, and they actually really do appreciate public outreach, as long as it's productive outreach, I should say. And if it's embedded onto our site, I think it would really be productive, because then they would get direct contact for not nuisance calls, but like, hey, this is a recurring issue, this is a recurring concern. But again, I was going to reserve that for the 6:45 to 7:15 or 7:15 to 7:45 next steps. But Teresa, I do appreciate that, and I think we can. Who's Sharon? Can I put that in your lap? Because I don't know where to start as far as finding the park supervisor. I see you nodding, and I hope that you're saying yes.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Awesome, Sharon.
Sebastian, it would be super. Everyone has people's names and contact information,
I don't. I personally
Sorry,
don't.
Sebastian, let me finish a sentence, okay? Everyone who's been very active has it. Like Donna has everybody up to probably the White House's information. So there's a lot of us that do have the information. What the thing that is lost and isn't working is a place that we can put it all. Like you said, our website. That would be, I'm trying not to curse. That would be phenomenal. It'd be
Let's do it. What's stopping us?
I have no idea how to use a website. That's for me, at least. But that would be, we would have to go to our community. I've tried to do this. Believe me, I've tried to work with our communication thing to even post this committee's minutes. I have 12 months worth of minutes that no one can see because I can't post them anywhere. So
let's work on it together, shoulder to shoulder. Like, we can do that.
Dude,
like,
let
that's
me
an
finish.
easy.
please.
Sorry.
I think we have to do is decide to contact. It would be fuck, I forget his name. Our excuse my language. The person who does our computer stuff. We need to contact him, and we need to figure out if we could even do that on our website and how we need to change things. So that would be maybe from this committee coming to that committee. So I think that for our next meeting, that should be on the agenda. So maybe we could vote on it and then go to the communication committee and say, hey, can we have this information on our website here? Numbers of people.
Help you with that. Sebastian, I can help you with that. It's Raheem Dawson. He's the chairperson of our communications committee. And we're in the process of kind of updating a lot of things. So we can make it a priority to have each standing committee have a contact list for the things that are important to them. So,
agreed. And I don't, and on Dorit, I can't help but staring into your black cat's eyes, but it's not a difficult thing, and I'm sure we can overcome it. And I do excuse your language, but I speak like a pirate as well. But it is, I think that's something that's super good idea. And I think I mean, that's, if you have all this information, like, let's get it out, because I don't. And that's part of the reason I'm sitting here right now, is I'm totally oblivious. And all the other members of the community are totally oblivious to all this information you have, right? So getting it out there into the small community that we live in is super important. And if something like a website or an inability to post something on a website is holding us back, then I mean, that's an easy fix in this day and age. So 100%, I am down to sit shoulder to shoulder and get that done. And you know, if Teresa has these contacts, let's do it. Like, it's very easy. It's, you know, there's other people sitting in this meeting in the audience that are incredibly savvy with this sort of thing, that are, I know, that are happy to help as well, that can actually jazz up our website as well to make it more alluring. But anyway, yes, so I will take you up on the offer. And Teresa, your hand's still raised. Do you have anything further to say?
I just raised it again. Thank you, Sebastian. No, it's not, this is not my contact. Raheem, we have a standing committee, a communications committee. And that is one of the main functions they have, are getting out information about the UNNC. So I was talking to him about something else, and he said, this is what we do. This is what we want to do. So it's not just me. We all have access to it. So
again, I don't, but again, I'm new, so okay. I pardon my ignorance. Laura?
Yeah, essentially, I don't know that we need a motion, but if there is a motion, which would have to be next month because it's not on our agenda, that's a recommendation to the board. I mean, it's really overwhelmingly bureaucratic, because we would recommend to the board, and then the board, if accepting that, would direct communications. Better approach would be, as I think Teresa's implying, that Teresa and I just asked Raheem to agendize it to the communications committee to see, because one of the things we've been talking about now since February is creating a sort of an icon for each committee, so that when we send out these e-blasts, or we post on our Facebook, Recreation and Parks is meeting, next week, there's a sort of the committee has its own little image that's different than the land use committee, or that would be different than the environmental committee, so that it starts being symbolic. But the same idea would apply on the website. Why doesn't each committee have sort of a subpage? And I think the answer on the latter is that they're sort of hesitant to keep updating the existing website because they all want a different platform, but we don't have the money to do a do-over. So I think, and Teresa's here, and Dorit, I think we just need to ask the committee to move forward on all of the things that people have asked, the updates to the website, and not wait for that magic moment when they redo the website on a different platform. Because I think that's what's been holding it up. Because it would be really good to have a recreation parks subpage, and not to mention a land use page and a trees page, Teresa's
Yeah,
passion.
every other neighborhood council I'm involved with has the website has the, you know, Rec and Parks page and the homeless page and all that. So it's just mind-boggling that we don't. But then again, I know Reham he's overworked, and Gabby was overworked. So I get that. And with the pandemic, it makes it much more difficult too. So I get we don't have it, but it would be super duper awesome if we did. Like I said, there's so many minutes from different meetings that you can't get your hands on unless somebody sends them to you. It'd be great for people just to be able to visit the website.
Well, you could get your hands on them, but it's not intuitive because they sit in agenda packets. So you kind of have to say, I want the minutes from, you know, these are all public, but yes, you're right, because it's not intuitive to go backwards in time and grab them.
Right.
So, okay.
Okay, well, let's
But
table
then
that for now.
obviously, what would be good to have agendized would be, what would you want to see in the subpage? I mean, Dorit wants to see minutes.
Yeah, I think Laura, right now, let's not put the cart in front of the horse, right? Let's try to get actually a page first, right? Because you know, working with you and Dorit and Teresa and everyone, it was really tough just to even find the page. Like, everyone was trying to send me a link, and I Google it, and I'm pretty savvy at the internet, but it was difficult to even find our sub page of the UNNC. That's sorted. And then, you know, I agree with you, and I did not mean to cut you off. I apologize. But if we can just actually get to the bottom of how do people even know that we exist, right? Like, or what we're even doing, right? Or are we just speaking in the void? You know, like that's right. I think if, you know, again, it's very difficult to even find out. I didn't know we existed, quite frankly. So if that's what you mean by subpage, then I 100% agree.
No,
But
I mean, you go to www.unnc.org and you can see easy find recreation and parks.
Oh yeah, exactly. I thought you meant like
easy
find. Let's just get a
the jump to recreation and parks. I mean, I would call it a jump to a subpage, but you know, the people who are techies might have different phraseology.
I got you. I thought you were like talking about like deeper levels. I was like, I can't even find the link to the Rec and Parks Commission. Yeah. So I got it.
Okay.
100%. How do we get that? Do we do something to agendize that, or do we wait? Or, I mean, that's very important.
Yeah. I think Teresa and I and Dorit just asked Rahim to put it on his agenda for discussion at his committee. The only question would be, what would this committee want to see if it had some degree of control over its subpage? Again, that's not the right phrase, but you know, if you have your own page within the website.
Our page, yeah, our website. How about our website?
Well, we can't have, city can't have it. It have to be a subpage. You know, UNNC can have one website, one Facebook account, one YouTube account, one Instagram. We can't have multiple.
Okay, now I understand why the sub. Okay, got it. Again, pardon my ignorance. I did not mean. I get it. So our subpage.
Subpage is not a real word, but I just want to say it so we all understand. Okay. I'm muting myself.
How do we do that? So yeah, that's a great question. How do we do that?
Laura and I will talk, and Dorit also will talk to Rahim to put it on as an agenda item for the communications, and we'll say, hey, we want to talk about this, and then he'll explain to us how we can go about doing that and the process for that. And then I guess it'll come back to your committee and you'll say, oh, okay, well, here are the things we want to have on that. We want to have the meeting minutes, and we want to have public officials who we can contact directly regarding graffiti, or regarding maintenance, or whatever, you know, list of public people you want.
Well, and of course, that pretty map that Teresa, you and I are working on of the parks, not just the couple of parks, but the parks our stakeholders go to. So Sebastian, we had included the ones on our edges, the Normandy and Queen Anne, because they're in great deal of use by our stakeholders in the northern parts of UNNC and Leslie Shaw. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious what it could be, but we we'd have to give a list to, and it's not really to Raheem. The list would go, we have a webmaster and she is supervised by myself, Raheem, and our treasurer because of money issues as well. But we're not there yet. First, we have to kind of get buy-in, and then we have to get budget, not real budget, but not abuse the overall budget. So it'll
Well, let's
happen
make
over
that
a little bit of time.
No, exactly. It is. Yeah. But that's super important. And I think that's a great idea. So I guess we can continue this actually, Laura. This is next steps, ideas for the future. Do you want to keep talking?
I keep muting myself so other people can talk. So I'm good for the moment. Let's hear from others.
Dorit?
We had a list of, at our last meeting, we had a list of things that we've talked about in this committee in the past, of like what we want to do, is it important? And people signed and said, yes, I'll take care of doing that. I'll be the spearhead of this. Like, I know I said I will take care of understanding Quimby funds, which was insane to me. And I think, yeah, you got those minutes. So everyone has picked an item they want to do. A lot of those people aren't on this meeting today, and that's fine. You know, it was a last minute meeting. So I think we do have things that people want to do moving forward. From our last mission statement, and you're a new chair, you could throw out the last mission statement. That's completely within your right. One of the goals I know was to add libraries to this committee. And now that the libraries, thank God, are back open, it would be nice to think about doing that, since both of our libraries have parks, have parks kind of attached to them. Leslie Shaw has the Jefferson Library, and the Washington Irving Library has what's going to be a really cute little park when it's finished. So it makes sense. And then, yeah, I think we should look back at our documents and sort of start from there of what we said we're going to do in the past as a guide to moving forward. That would be my suggestion. Once again, I'm no longer the chair, so it's completely up to you if you want to do it like that, or you just want to throw it all out and start from scratch.
No, I certainly don't want to throw it out. Again, Dorit, thank you for that. I apologize. I did skim through the minutes, but I don't recall seeing any sort of action items where, and again, it might have been my bad reading it, but if we do have, and I don't know, I'm not looking at you, but is there a place that anybody know that is there a place that I can look at where some of those actions items were delegated? And find out topics that we've already discussed, because I know I have a list, and I'm sure other members of the public have a list as well.
They're in the minutes, and once again, the minutes aren't posted anywhere except if you were lucky enough to be on the committee before and got the minutes. So I sent you the minutes yesterday, and I apologize. I sent them in an extremely sloppy fashion because
I got 30 emails. I got 30 emails.
Me and computers hate each other. I hate
understand.
computers. I wish to throw them out the window. So my apologies, but it would be I will do a better job over the weekend of gathering exactly what you need to know as far as what the mission statement said we should do and what the action steps forward are. I promise that will be done this weekend, and I'll get it to you on Monday. Okay.
Or Dorit, hey, I don't want to, I hate busy work. So if it's easier, if you know where those items are, if you just want to like scratch it on a piece of paper, I'd happily like enter those things, and we can reconcile those into a new action item list. And obviously a mission statement should be pretty easy to transpose. So you don't have to mess with.
The mission statement already exists. Like I'm saying, if you wish to throw it out and start over again, you can.
No, not at all.
All I just got to do is find our last minutes and copy it. It's going to be super duper easy. Just this week is really busy. So I'll do it.
Yeah, no, whatever. All I'm saying is whatever's easiest for you. If it's easiest to read them out, I'd happily transpose them, or just, if you tell me, hey, the last email is the one to look at, then that's easy enough.
Let me do it over, this week is nuts. I'll do it over the weekend. Okay, sweetie?
All right, no worries. Okay, all right. Teresa?
Thank you, Sebastian. Mentioning Washington Irving Library, can we get an update on the Pocket Park adjacent to that library? I don't know if that would come from Sharon, or who would give us an update on that? Do you know, Laura?
Um,
CD10.
Yeah, that's not in my area. It's in the Pacific region, like Leslie Shaw.
Yeah, it would be, Teresa, it would be CD10
Yeah.
because it's their baby.
Right. I
Okay.
will say that construction seems to be inching along.
Yes, I
And
noticed that.
And the librarian is very displeased with what's going on because they had asked her, can they put a container for storage on the library parking lot? And she said, sure. And now instead they did that, but all of the construction workers are parking in the library parking lot as well. So, so she's not happy. That's all I can say. She's just not happy. All right, did we just lose Sebastian? No, we did not.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I had to blow my nose.
So it's a plus and minus because what it means is that there's work being done and the workers are driving her crazy. So.
Sorry, excuse me just a second. So Laura, who would Sebastian talk to or invite to come to a meeting to provide us an update? Who at CD10 would do that?
Well, when we say CD10, it was the old CD10 that created the project. Maybe Donna knows if the new CD10 has anything to do with the project. I mean, Billy Green was the one who has retired, who was kind of marshaling it for CD10. But
Could I speak up?
Yeah.
I'll look into that. There's an email. I know I have an email of an update because one of the neighbors had one of our meetings in the past, someone from Rec and Parks was here. And one of the neighbors asked for an update on it. And she and I think Danny from CD10 provided an update. So I do have that update, but you just have to let me get through my emails to figure it out.
When you say Danny, do you mean Danielle Moreau or?
Yeah.
Moreau?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'd be very, I make things familiar. I'm sorry.
No, but that is her. Danny is what people call her.
Yeah, so my apologies, but I do have an email. It's an older email and it did say it was going to be done in 8 weeks, but we all know it's been well more than 8 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we'll send her an email and ask her for an update. I'll
All
take
right.
care of that. Just give me a day or two, okay?
Yes, okay.
All right, Dorit, your hand's raised.
Terribly sorry.
Did we lose Dorit? Oh, you muted yourself, I think.
Yeah, I didn't, my hand shouldn't have been raised. My bad. Terribly sorry.
Okay, cool. I wanna hop back on the agenda really quick. I don't see any more hands raised. So next steps, ideas for the future. So part of the reason I'm here, and here's the reason, right, is I also have ideas, and several people that joined tonight have ideas, and that's, long story short, that's why I'm here. So my goal is really to make sure that we get things done. Like I said, we get our names and or not our names necessarily, but we get our commission out there and let people know that they have backing. Like community members know that they have backing within the amongst the bureaucracy, so to speak. And I say that as a member of the bureaucracy, not as a negative term or anything. But what can we do? This is, I mean, and maybe it's to what Dorit was saying, maybe this is the mission. What can we do to affect change, right? So there's safety concerns at both parks, there's, whether it's vehicular, whether it's interpersonal safety concerns, there's safety concerns at both parks. There's things that, there's a certain laundry list, and what I want to do and what I want to know is how can we affect change? What can we do to make a difference, right? So I'm looking at you all as committee members. What can we do? What do we have the power to do to affect change, right? We can all come up with a list of wish list items, right? And we're all on the same team. We all want what's best for the community, what's best for the park. Sure, we may have different ideas, but ultimately we're all on the same team. We all want what's best for everyone, right? No one wants anyone to go to a park and see them get hurt. No one wants anyone to go to the park and see them unsafe. No one wants anyone to go to the park and not have shade to sit in. No one wants anyone to go to the park and not have a place to use the restroom, et cetera, right? So what can we actually do to affect change? And that's ultimately what I'd like to focus our meetings on, right? Like, I don't want to, round table, speak against each other or with each other about things that we all agree on. I really want to focus on what can we do to affect change. And I'm looking at you as that's a real question. I'm not speaking hypothetically. Like, what can we do? I'd like to focus our this step 5 or item 5 on that particularly. What can we actually do? Can we implement fencing at Leslie Shaw? Can we implement better lighting at Benny Potter and cameras, et cetera, right? Can we get better word out when we're re-rubberizing surfacing at both parks, right? Can we let people know that, hey, landscaping is going to be here at a set time? Can we let people know who the supervisors are? And that's me on my soapbox. And I respectfully open it up, but that's me grabbing the rein. I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn, and I'm probably being a person on a soapbox, but that's an honest question. What can we actually do? And can we focus on that in these meetings? So I'm asking into the void here, but
to affect change, you've got to decide what the change is going to be. So it means it means talking to the community, figuring out what people want to see, and then just start working on it. Go with some of your leaders, some of your people who've made change. Donna is one of the most amazing people you're ever going to find. Okay, she can move mountains. So you talk to Donna and ask how she's done it. Use her as a guide. So we can make change. Change has been made in the past, not just here in this community, but other communities I've been involved with. So we figure out what change you want and make sure it's not just a change that a few people want. Get larger buy-in, because what you want, as say someone who's been here for 5 years, may not be what someone who's been here for 30 years may want. So there's got to also be compromise, and then find out how to make that happen. Get everyone involved and then figure out how to make it happen. So it starts with narrowing stuff down and moving forward.
I appreciate that. And again, I want to underscore that I think there's certain universal items such as safety, inclusiveness, equal access, that it doesn't matter if I've lived here 5 minutes or 30 years, that we all can agree on, right? So those are things that I want to underscore that I've heard repeatedly from the community, and that's why I'm sitting here. But again, I want to understand how I'm sitting here can actually make a difference, right? And how all of us are sitting here spending our Monday evenings can make a difference, right? Because I really think that we do have the power to do that. We live in a very a powerful part of the city, right? We live in the dead center of LA, but I don't want to just, spend our time saying things to each other that we all agree on without actually making a difference, right? And that's what I've heard repeatedly, and that's why I'm sitting here, right? So again, I just want to spend, and I do see your hand raised, Laura, and I do want to just underscore that for this item in particular, this is the most important agenda item for me, is ideas for the future. And yes, I agree, Dorit, some people will have certain wish list projects, etc., but there are universal themes and commonalities that we as humans can all agree upon, right? And again, I hope that safety, inclusivity, and equal access are amongst those, and for all of us. And if that's not in our mission statement, then maybe I will rewrite it, because I think that's something that's near and dear to my heart, right? Because there are people of varying backgrounds that now live in the community with varying experiences, with individual personalities. And I think it's really important to respect all of those, right? So again, as a new member, quote unquote, new member to the community, I think that it's important to me to be heard, as well as really listen to my elders in the community. And part of the reason I'm sitting here is because I live on an amazing block, and a lot of those elders feel as though they've left behind, and they're watching their grandchildren not wanting to go to these parks because of past experiences when they originally raised their kids, right? And I'm like, no, these parks are amazing, and they don't believe me, right? And I want to be able to convey to them, say, hey, look at this website with that cell phone, that computer that everyone has in their pocket. Look on our website, like, look at the pictures of what we're doing. look at the events that are happening there, right? Like that's what I want to be able to do. And if I can do one thing with my, hour and a half, 2 hours on a Monday afternoon, it's at least that, to get the word out that we live in an amazing community with amazing parks at our fingertips. And, we have amazing neighbors that really care. Look at us all here on a Monday. So anyway, Laura, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, so UNNC actually, and then also many community members, I don't mean we found the land, but we created the parks that you were discussing today. So it's not just that the community got together and saved the South Seas House, but even that effort to, quote, save the South Seas House required a lot of big public meetings, coming up with a community vision for what would that mean to save the house. But after we had saved it, so we had a grand reopening and now we had a park, the park was kind of miserable. And so what we did is we engaged with USC School of Engineering, and they had, maybe still do, a program that every single engineering student was required to take. And they called it engineering writing, but it wasn't really about writing. It was about doing projects. So they had 3 different teams sign up to look at aspects of our park. So one of the 3 teams actually worked with me, and we studied the idea of the universal playground, which we ended up with a second one. So that was built because of a big study that USC Engineering School and community stakeholders engaged in. The exercise, whatever it's called now, but in the Easterly Park, there's exercise station. Yeah, there's exercise station. That was another team came up with that idea. And the third team was looking at the basketball court and lighting. I mean, in other words, it was created by the will of a lot of people and the help of USC in creating a project that could figure out what the parameters were. And similarly, Sharon's not here tonight, but the Leslie Shaw Park, I mean, the community got more than, funding. It was well over $1 million to recreate that park. So it can be done. We have done it. So now we're talking about making things that you see better, but we understand that we are powerful. We have done it, and we should continue to do it. So that's all I'm going to say. It's like it's not just. I mean, we need to keep building on those efforts. So I think identifying other changes and then figuring out how to find the funds and how to design it would be really good. Or in this community, do we need an additional park space, and how would we accomplish that? And I don't know, in other words, whatever. But I think we should be confident that what we put our minds to, we can do.
And I love that, Laura. I apologize if you're not done, but I am so pumped by what you guys have done. Before I moved into this community, going through the Google images of both Benny and Leslie, and the one on right off Crenshaw, the name is escaping me. It's undergoing a major renovation. I forgot the name right now, but the changes that have happened there just in the Google Street View is absolutely mind-boggling, and it's amazing. And that's what I really want to get excited about, is that we can continue to do that amazing stuff. So and again, Dorit, I appreciate that you have everything. So what can we do to get to move the marker even further forward? What can we do? And that's what I really want to focus on is. And if you guys have it on the tip of your tongue, like, let's get excited about it. Like, what are those items to you guys? What are the items that are exciting to the community? What are, to your stakeholders? What are those items? And let's make those the bullet points and then add on to those, right? And not necessarily tonight, but like maybe at next meeting, we can all come back after doing our homework and each come back with 3 items that are like, hey, these are our next steps, ideas for the future, right? Like, this is the most exciting thing for me, because then we can really drill down and spend our time on like, how do we get those things done, right? Like, hey, this is Dorit's idea. We are all on board, right? Because we're all on the same team. How do we get this done? Or how can we improve on this idea, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? That's what I want to focus on, right? Like, I'm a very action-oriented individual. And I really want to focus on getting things done. And what you all have done, like I'm standing on the shoulders of giants here, right? So I am totally grateful and totally pumped up about what you guys have done. Otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here, but I really want to move the needle and like continue moving this stuff forward. And I'm really passionate about it. So I think if nothing else, like, you know, can we agree to each come back with 3 like touchstone issues for next meeting to just really like start a real agenda, not extemporaneous, but really 3 touchstone issues, whether it's, hey, lighting at XYZ park. Hey, I think we need cameras. I think we need, you know, bathroom monitor, whatever it is. I think maintenance, I think lands, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like a couple, maybe not 3, that might, well, maybe at least 2 each, you know, just next week and just agendize and really work on those for each of us, because we all have different stakeholders that we're representing. Is that something that we can all agree on? Like, I'm on board if all you are. Is that something that works for you all? Because this is really the item that I want to focus on. And if that's a format that you guys are willing to, you know, to get on board with, you know, I'd really appreciate it. I appreciate it, Donna. Teresa?
Thank you, Sebastian. This question is sort of toward Laura. Those minutes from Dorit with that, I remember her last meeting where she did ask everybody some ideas for the future.
Right.
Is that in the packet? I mean, can I
It's
go
not,
in and
I don't know. I just emailed, I went back to the July, on my computer packet. It's not the same thing as the public packet, but that we had a document called Accomplishments, Rec and Parks. It was an Excel spreadsheet. And I did just email that to Sebastian. I cannot obviously copy and paste it into the chat. And I do not know, I don't remember, and I'm not going to go, because of my unstable internet, I'm not going to go searching right this second through the Google Drive, the agenda Google Drives, which are public. Everything else is private, you know, I should say officers only. So,
because I wouldn't, if you are unable to find it, I don't mind spending the time to go in and try to find that. So he'll at least have that, because there were some good ideas on that, Sebastian.
No, I just emailed it to him.
I'm going to share my screen right now just to show everyone here. Can you guys see it? Let me go over to one. Can you guys see it?
No.
Not yet.
No.
All right. There we go. I got to hit share.
Yep, there it is.
All right. Let me zoom in here. Is this the old, oh, these are kind of the accomplishments list here?
Dorit will need to tell you what it is. I just happen to have it.
I don't know if she's still with us, but I think that there was another document that she, not just her accomplishments, but one that it was just like a Word document that had a lot of suggestions for the future that different stakeholders had said, oh, we need this, or we should try this. So I'm just trying not to duplicate efforts. If he has that, then that might be a start. I mean, I'm always for more trees. So,
and I'm with you too, Teresa. We talked offline, yeah. So that's something that exactly, right? More shade, right? More trees, right? So for me, it's child containment, right? Like maybe that's something, again, not everyone may be amenable to, but like, hey, let's finish the fencing at Leslie Shaw for an example, right? I'm not throwing that out to inflame anyone, but just throwing that out there. Maybe parks rule signage to address the Stacy's comment earlier, or things of that nature, right? So I think maybe if we can come back with a couple items each, and we can add to this wonderful accomplishments website, or excuse me, spreadsheet, and add a new tab like, hey, goals for the future. I think that might be a good place to start, right? And then we can see what we can accomplish, right?
Right. The agenda for July's meeting also did have a list of stuff, actually. Let me look.
And I think Miss Rosie has her hand up.
Oh, hey, Miss Rosie.
Hi.
I recognize you.
Okay. It looked like on the list that you just had, it showed that there were some suggestions on there too. So
Let me
maybe
share it. Let me pull it up again here for everyone
it's
to.
a thing that had not been addressed yet that was from 2021.
All right, everyone see my screen? Okay, we're looking at it now, Miss Rosie. These are all actually from 2020 and 2021. You're right.
Right. So the one like, yeah, so it looks like there's some suggestions on here already that could be added to that list.
Right. Well, I'm also, what I am able to do in the chat is post the list that was on the agenda. This is not the end, this was the beginning. This was a list that was on that July agenda, but we had discussions that ended up adding to it, or no one took it on. I mean, what we were discussing in July was for each item, somebody had to raise their hand and say, I'll do it. Because otherwise, what's the point? But so Sebastian, you know what I can do easily, semi-easily, is get you a copy of the Zoom recording from that meeting.
Okay, and again, I don't want to dig up old bones. And to what Miss Rosie's saying, if there's unacted upon action items, then I think we should move those to the head of the table, right? Like, I don't want to bury any of these by any means. These are all, just looking at them, like, these are all wonderful accomplishments, but I see at least 2 in process and several inactive as far as completion dates. So again, I really want to focus this meeting and this committee on, action, right? Like getting things done. So again, I would love if you all work well in spreadsheet form, then that's super easy to follow. Once we're done with something, we strike it through. It's easy to add an action item and hold people accountable. You simply add a date, like, hey, Miss Rosie, you grabbed the bull by the horns on this item. Sebastian grabbed it on this one, et cetera, et cetera. So,
well, I'm being reminded, the Quimby funds, whatever number that was, this is a biggie, because the Quimby funds that are being collected from all this development around here have not yet been given back to this community. And we did discuss that, and that was going to be an important goal, to continue to acquire the Quimby funds. And Donna may have, if she's still here, may have some insight, but Dorit said she would follow up, keep that one as her task.
But I think on that one, Shinnery did give a report on it and had said that there was not any Quimby funds in the areas for this.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right.
Right.
That's exactly right. But remember, I'm the land use co-chair, and I can tell you sitting here that in the last decade, there have been well over 1,000 units, more than 1,100 units, apartment housing units, that went through an entitlement process here in UNNC and approved, half of which were affordable, which would not have Quimby funds, and the other half of which should have generated Quimby funds. And there's another 700 units in the pipeline, of which about 118 are affordable. So that leaves us, almost 600 units that should be generating Quimby funds. And they are generating Quimby funds. They're just not being designated to our community. So that was the item.
Okay.
So again, right now is not the time to, I don't think, at least, speaking out of turn maybe, but to address action items. But this may be a great opportunity for you to, track this down, Laura, right? Like, if you're the land use chair, for instance, right?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I know what all the projects are. Because we've been calculating it for a different reason, but the 2 go hand in glove.
And those are important monies. I mean, that's the money tree right there, quite frankly, right? Like, we see all the, so again, I at least want to throw it on the table, like, hey, let's get a way to track these action items down, and let's start continue this process that started, reignite some of these that have already begun, that say inactive or in process, and add on to them and say, hey, this is important. And instead of just throwing things into the void, assign responsibility. So I don't know if this is the type of meeting where I motion, but I would suggest that is something that we agree upon, and you know, try it out and say, hey, let's give it a whirl. Like, you know, let's make a list and hold people accountable, or, you know, accountable is a strong word, but like, let's say, let's, you know, ask people to put some skin in the game, you know? So food for thought. Again, it's 7:45. I just want to throw that out there and get some feedback on that idea and the realism of my thoughts. So I'm looking to you guys and whether that's a reasonable idea for next meeting, for each of us to come with a couple ideas that we can add to this list and address these old items, say.
All right.
Don't all speak at once.
Well, I'm trying to avoid being the person who's the tail wagging this doggy. The people who are here to be members of the committee should be the ones speaking up.
I'm here to be a member of the committee.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, you probably can't see it, but I have my hand
Oh,
up.
I'm sorry, Teresa. You can always, yes, I recognize you. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Yes, I agree. I don't think we have to make a motion. If you are doing the minutes, maybe you just, you know, make a statement in your minutes that next meeting, we're going to discuss actual actionable items and recommendations from the community or something like that. I would just put a statement like that in the minutes. And yes, I will try to bring a couple of things that I think are important to the parks that I feel I can possibly help with.
And quite frankly, I'm just asking at this point, committee members, and I welcome public input as well. Obviously, we did get public input today at the open session, but at this point, I'm asking committee members to come with a few ideas from their constituents or their stakeholders to just bring a couple ideas so that we can just say, hey, you know, these are items that are important to me and my community, and let's start tackling them. And as we start to see progress, I guarantee you we're going to start to see more involvement in our meetings. But yeah, that's what I'm asking is right now it's for us committee people to come with a few ideas that we can actually talk about constructively and you know, criticize them and also, you know, uplift them, you know, in a productive way. So I will send out, I'll take that and I'll email everyone and I will ask them, or I'll remind them to come with a few ideas. Let's say, is 2 a fair number? 3? I think 3 is might be a bit much to tackle. Should we say 2? Everyone do jazz
Sounds
hands.
good to me.
All right, let's do 2 items. I'm just making a note that we can
Also,
talk about and add to this list. All right,
Laura
thank you,
put some
Laura and
items
Teresa
in.
and Donna.
Laura put some things in the chat too, if you want to save the chat. Sebastian, at the end of the thing, she made some notes, so you can just save the chat. And I think Donna had her hand up.
Okay, Donna, go ahead.
I didn't have my hand up. I was just saying.
I think she was giving a thumbs.
Yeah, thumb up. So.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sebastian, obviously we need to look at the list and I
Clean
will.
it up a bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, we can clean it up. We meaning you, not me. And I'm sort of joking together collaboratively, but also I think I'll if Dorit hasn't sent you the mission statement, I'll try and I'm sure I have it somewhere because the board would have needed to approve it. So I believe I have that in the governing board agenda packet from months and months ago when we approved that item. And Teresa's got her hand up now.
I think it's on the website, or at least it was, you know, a couple of months ago, the mission statement for Recs and Parks.
The new one or the original one though? I'm not sure Raheem uploaded the one we approved recently.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's cleanup to do. There's many tasks that haven't been done because we've been doing so many other tasks. So I'm not saying we've been sitting back and doing nothing. Because we've been very busy and active.
And UNNC has been amazing, by the way, everyone that's involved in that. But yeah. Anyway, but Yeah, so, okay, so overarching theme, 2 items per person. I'll follow up. I will follow up with the with the with the help of Laura on adding to, or just at least doing a quick check-in on these items, just so I can get some history on these on the existing spreadsheet. But yeah, that's, I think, a good place to start for next steps, ideas for the future, since at least some of us are meeting for the first time. So that being said, the next, without, I'm sorry, Donna, I see your hand.
I just wanted to quickly say thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for wanting to make this work. And please, everybody, bring one person with you next time who's interested, who has small kids, who uses a park, someone who does, because it can be overwhelming for a small amount of people to take on the amount of work it's necessary to make our parks be like all the parks around the city that don't have to do the work we do to make it right. Other areas don't have to do the work. So let's make it happen. I'll be here to help.
Love it, Donna. Jazz hands, that's my big thing since we're on Zoom nowadays. All right, you guys. Old business, follow up to previous items. I know we segued into that a bit with that spreadsheet, but is there anything else that you all want me to know about that I can help with, or that we as collective should follow up on?
No, I would just like to know if Donna knows the follow up on the cameras, security cameras in the park. Is that moving?
Yes, money is in. We are this is for the annex at Benny Potter next to the Isidore House. For those of you who don't know anything, but there is funding that has been sent out in order to upgrade the camera at the annex and to add cameras to the Isidore House and the area lighted up at night so that it's very visible to and available for the police if anything happens. So that money is in, and the vendor will probably be starting to work in the next month.
Awesome, Donna, thank you. And I have a follow-up question after Miss Rosie. Go ahead, Miss Rosie.
It's just a question. I don't know if anyone can answer that, but at one point, the space that is on Exposition, between Exposition and Obama and Arlington, that was occupied by, I don't know if that was Metro, whoever. At one point, they
The
came
Metro
to,
contractors.
right, they came to UNC and they were proposing having some type of park there. Do we know if that's still something that is going to be in the works, that they talked about it being something else? Is that something you may know about, Laura?
I do not know what the future of that lot is. I imagine, however, as a publicly owned parcel, that the most compelling need would be identified as housing at this point. So I think the best we might be able to do is help envision a project that includes some park setting as opposed to the whole thing being a large park. I just kind of don't see the city moving in that direction. That's just me. I've heard absolutely nothing. And I guess I'll email, I will volunteer to email Mary Jones to ask her if she, or Ann Carley, the chief of staff, and see if they know anything. But it's, I believe Metro owns it. Is that correct? If you know?
Yes, I do know. Yeah, they do own it.
Right.
But do you remember into UNNC and made a proposal of what that was going to turn into? Do you remember that, Laura?
I don't. They did not come to my committee. Did they come to the governing board or executive? I mean, this would be before I was in leadership.
No, they were. Yeah, they were in. I think they came to the governing board.
You know, I used to sleep a lot. Not really, but not always pay 100% attention to governing board. Sebastian doesn't know this. I'm the accidental president. I didn't run initially for president. So I've always been the land use chair. So anyway, I don't recall. I will follow up, and that will be something I report back to this committee or to the governing board at the October meeting.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to write this as if it's a
Thank you, Miss Rosie.
follow up. But Sebastian, you seem to know for sure who owns it. Is that because of your position at Santa Monica or because you live so close?
Well, actually both, right? So I don't want to say with 100% confidence, but I know the lead of Metro Development, basically the person who oversees the entire, both, yes. So I'm 90% confident. So I think it is county property or Metro property, I should say. But again, I do recall Miss Rosie's statement back, like I think it was a while back that I heard that same rumor. So I'd really be interested. I'd forgotten about that entirely. So I appreciate Miss Rosie's comment because I do live so close to it, and I entirely forgot about it. But it is currently a graded paved lot, and I am curious, if nothing else, to know what is going to happen to that. But yeah, I do believe that is Metro property.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of chit chat on Facebook, Nextdoor, et cetera, over the last couple of years about how it should be a skateboard park, it should be this park, it should be that. But I've never seen a Metro commentary or proposal. So that's all. But we can follow.
You can go to the parcel on county parcel, like, you know, the parcel, if you go to county parcel and you can look it up by parcel number and you can see the owner, but I don't know if it's, anyway.
I have access to ownership records. I'm just not going to do it during the middle of the meeting.
You should do it during the middle of the meeting. I hear your cat is hungry and yelling at me.
You hear the cat is hungry, but that's not why I've turned off the other browser that I would need to turn back on in order to do what I need to do. And I'm having Wi-Fi issues.
Your internet is unstable, we heard.
Exactly. So I'm not going to relaunch Google Chrome tonight in the middle of the meeting.
Understood. All right. So besides that, Miss Rosie, thank you very much for that. Besides that and the spreadsheet we discussed, what other items should we be discussing on old business follow-up to previous items? I know this has been a slumbering committee for a couple months. Is there anything else, or?
Yeah, I'm looking at the agenda from July, and I don't think there's nothing's jumping out at me that is something that we need to do a follow-up right now.
Awesome. Okay, so action items. Let's circle back. I love holding us all accountable. The one from the notes that I took, right? So website's a big issue, right? So let's start at the beginning of my graffiti notes here. Appreciate everyone who got the contacts out. Sharon may still be here, but we also we got Bill Lopez's contact. We also want to get the contact for Benny Potter, Pocket Park. We've got to look into that as well. Website update. Is it Rahim? Am I saying that correct, or is it Rahid with a D or an M?
With an M, like Mary.
So Rahim, hopefully we can loop into the next meeting or maybe offline as a sidebar meeting and talk about our website update and what we can do within the bounds of legality, as it were.
And money.
The big action. Right. Well, and I already got several texts, and certain people have logged on that they're willing to donate time. So, but the big action item, again, and this may be my personal, and I may have glanced over, I have a comprehensive list of notes here. My big action item for all of us, and again, I'm gonna, roundtable this, but I like to start because I'm narcissistic maybe, but no, I'm just kidding. Is everyone please, I'm going to reach out to you all for 2 action items that we can talk about for next steps, ideas for future meetings that hopefully turn into subtopics. But I'm really hoping that you can reach out to your community and your stakeholders and really put some thought into those at least 2 items. I don't care if you come with more, but please prioritize the top two. And obviously we're talking Benny and Leslie at this point. So I'm agnostic. Both parks are used by all our stakeholders. So please come with at least 2 action items for the next meeting that we can show to the public. Hey, we're talking about these things and we're thinking about these things. And also, Laura, I'm going to talk to you, and I hate to put more pressure on you, but about the old spreadsheet, or maybe you, me, and Dory, you can hop on a quick conference call to just talk about where we are with some of these old action items.
Sure.
If that's the most recent spreadsheet. But again, my big thing in green is 2 items for next meeting that we can focus on moving forward. So let's go around the screen here in no particular order. Donna, do you have anything to add in closing?
Already did my pep talk.
All right, thank you for your Monday night. Sharon, do you have anything?
No, but just welcome to the board. Very good meeting.
Likewise, thank you. Miss Rosie, do you have anything? And again, I don't know, I'm just assuming, again, apologize, I don't know who exactly is on the board. I'm gonna just go around everyone in the meeting here. So Miss Rosie.
2 things that my community would be interested in.
I'm
right?
sorry, can you say that one more time?
2 things that my community would be interested in. Is that what you're asking me for? I'm sorry, I was.
Yeah.
Oh, basic, really safety. The safety at Leslie Shaw Park, because they get a lot of drugs and needles and things like that, and more of a security presence, more police presence in shade.
Excellent.
And
What-
in the summer, it's not a lot of shade there, like all open. Like some sun umbrellas or sunshade screens, those big triangle thingies. Something to give a little more
Those
shade.
sycamores are, to the defense of the beautiful sycamore trees that are there, those are awesome shade. But I hear you, Miss Rosie, and I am going to make a note. Are you, and I apologize, Miss Rosie, are you a committee member? And I honestly don't know. Or are you a member of the public?
Oh, I used to be on the board at UNNC.
Okay.
Right now, I'm just a stakeholder.
Oh, you're not just you're okay,
Okay.
awesome. You
I'm a
are
stakeholder.
our boss.
I am
Okay,
the hero of illegal dumping. I'm on the website.
awesome. Me too. Okay, noted. Laura, do you have anything to add in closing?
Oh, no, not, I'm just said I wish we were done with COVID and we could have the haunted house at South Seas House, but that's not what you're asking me.
No, I just.
I know,
tasked you with
I'm
ending COVID.
joking.
You're all right, everyone.
I'm good.
Laura took the COVID. She's gonna end COVID for us.
Yeah, I'm going to take on and end COVID. Yeah. No, I just that as we're looking at these items, we need to be really cognizant that for our stakeholders, renters in Arlington Heights, Angeles Vista, and Harvard Heights, they're less likely to be coming down even to the South Seas House and Benny Potter. They're really using Normandy Park. And I would like to see how we can better interface with that park to in turn feed more information to our stakeholders, in particular Normandy, but also Queen Anne, because they have major programs there. They're big parks. They've got a lot of staff teaching lots of athletic classes. Maybe not right now, I don't know, but I mean, we just need to be cognizant that we have like 80,000 stakeholders. So the area from Washington north of the
We're powerful, y'all. That's what I'm saying.
The area north of the freeway has lots and lots of population, lots of multifamily buildings with many units. So this is not something we're gonna be able to start a project in the next month, but we just need to be cognizant of it.
And we have to be realistic. I totally appreciate that.
Yeah.
So you think, just for my notes, better interface with Normandy Park, is that the primary park you're concerned
Well, there's
about?
there's two very large parks right outside our boundaries. Normandy Park is at Pico and Normandy, but on the other side of the street. But they have, Sharon could correct me, but I think they have softball as well as soccer. I mean, they have, you know,
And both of those parks, both Queen Anne
Yeah.
and Normandy are
Queen Anne.
very
There it
large sports programs.
right.
And yeah, they're running winter baseball right now, fall baseball, and both of those parks have big numbers in both
Right.
baseball and softball.
Right. So
And
when
just
I
Yeah,
was
sorry.
younger, so my friends and I've grown a little older, but you know, all the kids, I don't have kids, but all the other kids went to Queen Anne for a lot of programs.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's still a very big park. And they do have a lot of like classes and stuff also. And then that place, I don't know who fixed it, but recently they fixed the splash pad there, like not more than a month ago.
It's
And that thing had been
amazing.
closed for like 4 years, maybe 5 years. And that thing just got open like not even like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Right.
Which was
Right. Right. So I guess
Great.
what I'm trying to say is for the parks within our footprint, we are looking at improvements, safety, inclusivity, and the parks nearby our footprint that have programs. How do we let our community know about it? Because the other one that's smaller but closer is the is it Lauren Miller, but 29th and Halldale. And
Yeah.
they also have have a ton of programs. And if you live in the eastern part of Jefferson Park, that's a 3-block walk,
Mhm.
Mhm.
with a light at 29th. I mean, you can cross Western with a light. So we don't need to think about how to improve those parks, but rather how to improve getting their message to our stakeholders.
Right. And Rancho Cienega, like once that pool opens and everything
Yeah.
there is, that's
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you
So it's
100%.
it's a different thing, but that's important to me.
Yep. I hear you 100%. So synergy, I'm going to say synergy with
Yes.
neighborhood parks
Right.
to use the
Oh, but I violated your rule.
hate
It's
lingo, by the way.
8:07.
I know. Well, we haven't, Teresa, speeding you along, Laura. You took 6 minutes.
I don't have anything else, but you mentioned a pool. We do have a pool at Pico and West. I think there's
Yes.
a public pool there if we're going to do that. And I think this could be part also, Sebastian, of your communication outline or program that you want to come up with and how we can, promote it through our website.
Yeah.
Totally, because everyone thinks that the closest pools are at, sorry, drop my pen, pool at Rancho Cienega, which is almost done, but not done, and Expo Park. I didn't know that there was a pool at Pico and Western.
Yeah.
That's amazing,
Not
right?
Western,
No,
West
West.
Boulevard.
It's by Queen Anne.
West Boulevard.
Yeah, West Boulevard.
Oh, okay. Pico
Eleanor
and West.
Roberts.
Yes.
Eleanor Roberts Green.
By
or
Lowe's.
Eleanor Roberts,
Yes,
Right,
by
yeah.
Lowe's.
Yes.
Gotcha.
right next to Lowe's. You can walk to it.
Mhm.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right,
Drop
let's see
your
who
kids
else we
off
have.
at the pool. Go buy some tools.
That's what I love to do. All right, let's see. Arian, you're the last one on the mic, I believe. Let me know if I excluded anyone. Or Donna, did I miss you?
No, I've been
Okay,
talking.
yeah, you're right. You been talking. All right, Arian, do you have anything to add?
Oh, nothing else. Just I will be in contact with you about the programs that we have. It was nice to meet you. Welcome to the board, and I look forward to hearing from you at the next meeting.
Likewise. Well, like I believe it was Laura pointed out, we are 9 minutes overdue, so I'll do 9 push-ups for running the meeting overdue. But thank you all, and I hope to have a productive next meeting. I'll reach out to all you all individually or collectively for action items. So without further ado, unless there's anything last minute, happy Monday and have a great week.
You too.
Great.
So
Thank you very
anybody,
much.
do you all know how to save the chat if you wanted the information in the chat?
I think you just press the ellipse and then you press save chat, right?
Yeah, if the 3 dots in chat just on the right, exactly. So, okay.
Okay.
So
Great
I'm
job,
always the
Sebastian.
last person to leave.
I'll wait with you.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't like to cut people off. So,
Right?
Great job, Sebastian. Talk to you soon.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Okay, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Laura, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'm sorry. I mean, it looks like my internet's better now. I don't know what was going on.
I'll call you this week and we'll touch
Okay.
base, but thank you so much for your help.
Right. And I do want to say, I don't know if the minutes would end up on our website.
It doesn't, let's just,
I mean, in other words,
Dorit
I
sounds
think
like
it
she
has to
has
be,
them.
yeah, I think it needs to be a little more stable. I mean, in other words, I don't think we would expect because we pay for, to upload and upload and upload and upload all the time. So
I'm not gonna keep them. I keep them on like I take notes in chicken scratch. So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna take them but I do have several friends that work in tech that are happy to help with the website and such, so.
yeah, I just don't know.
Hopefully,
What I don't know is, okay, so hang on a sec. I'm